we can start working on auto completion. In this stage, you'll implement support for auto completing built-in commands. Tab auto completion. Tab auto completion is a shell feature that helps users complete commands by pressing the tab key. For this stage, you'll implement auto completion for two built-in commands, echo and exit. Huh, interesting. Echo is a choice. Also exit? Does exit have autocomplete? I don't think I've ever tested that. Oh, wait. Are they just talking about this? Where I think that's what it is. Because if I tab autocomplete, I don't think any of that does anything, right? When the user types a partial command and presses tab, your shell should check if the partial text matches the beginning of a built-in command, specifically echo or exit. Okay, that's what it is. There, I'm not tab auto completing the arguments of it. I'm tab auto completing the command itself. Because I'm so used to doing things with like ls and then being able to tab complete the path, which completion with arguments. So that's probably coming up. If there is a match, complete the word. Adding a trailing space, the user can immediately type arguments. For example, if the user types ECH and presses tab, your shell should complete it to echo with a space at the end. Interesting. So they're going to be able to simulate inputs. I wonder how they do that on a sort of like technical basis. Okay, well we can test this out. Obviously, right now, if we start with I don't have to do anything here. If I do that, tab obviously does that. So that's not really helpful. Let's close all our buffers. Where do we want to start with this? Maybe let's start with our library and go through. Where am I getting each character? So I print my prompt, and then I get my command. Okay, so I get user input, and I read the entire line. That's a problem, because now I'm going to have to get characters in at a time and sort of detect what the character is. And if it's a tab character, it's going to be something else. So user input here is probably fine, but I can no longer read line. I'm going to have to read a character. Am I going to be able to get standard in to give me all of that? Okay, so this, so read will pull some bytes from the sort and specified buffer. I definitely don't want to read. Okay, so read line. It locks the handle and reads the line of input, appending it to specified buffer, because that all that's doing is it's reading until a /n. I wonder if we can take a look to see how read line works. Okay, so it locks. Cool. It locks and reads line. Great. Inner read line. Okay. Okay, so it does a read until. What type is self? I guess that's an IO. I don't think I need a read until. A read character would be nice. Oh, because you're getting me a standard in. That's what this is. Okay, hold on. I get a standard in thing, so I kind of want a standard in equals. Oh, I don't want to undo that. So standard in. I guess I'll just call it input. So that gives me a standard in. Okay, so I don't want to get aligned. Lock this handle to the standard input stream, returning a readable guard. The lock is released when the returned lock goes out of scope. The returned guard also implements the read and buff read traits for accessing the underlying data. So maybe that's what I want to do, is I want to lock this. So we lock you. Now what can I do with this? Transform this read instance into an iterator over its bytes, which might be helpful, but I'm getting it from standard in. Ooh, I don't know how much a character is, though, right? I could read to end, because that means that it's not necessarily going to be a new line, because end of file could be just the end of the line. Yeah, so what if I read to string? I get the user input. Oh, I can't, I have to do that. Okay. Let's see. Question mark U for right now. And then I'm actually really curious. That reads to string. I'm really curious what this is. So if I wonder how long does it take like, is there a debalance on this? Does it even know to do anything? Like, is standard in the wrong thing for me to look at? Am I gonna have to like do an input with a like typing or something? I don't know. Now I'm curious. So if I run you and I do ls, that still works. But is this just the shell, like the terminal showing me ls? I need to like echo this out, but wait, am I overthinking this? Could I just check to see if the last character is a tab character? Like, what if I do exactly what we had before? So I read line U. We get user input. Ooh, but I trim it. The trim removes the tab, which kind of makes it hard for me to get. So what if I have to trim? Okay, so I have user input. I can trim the beginning, then that's fine. But I need to check to see if the last thing is a tab. We know that the last character is a new line, right? Like if I pop off, um, let's just um 4C in user input cares. So if I have this character here, if I just print line, okay, so no errors. I should be able to test this out. So if I do ls like that, it gives me, okay, two white spaces at the end. If I do ls tab, sorry, ls, let's do echo tab, new line. Ooh, okay, so I get the tab, and then is that like an rn or something? Oh no, that's just a new line right here. These are matching. So I get the new line there. So I know that I'm getting a new line. Oh, but if I tab, I want it to complete right then, because if I do echo like this, it just tabs. No new line needed whatsoever. So I do need to have this print out to me. I need to catch this before I return it. So I can't use readline because that's looking for a new line. Okay, so wait, how example. So if I do that, input string that match it does a new line. That's the number of bytes read and then the input. Oh, and I can pipe. Okay, so I can pipe into it or I can interactively run it. In which case it'll wait for the enter key, and that's the reason why I can't do that. Lines goes over any input lines, but again, it's waiting for. Actually, it's probably not going to wait at all. It's probably just going to error out because there's nothing passed into standard in. Logs is handled to center input stream, returning a readable guard. Okay, so I think I need to do that. So I think we have to have our input stream. Okay, so if I lock, I think we need to make this mutable. I can read this instance over its bytes. Reads all bytes into buffer until the delimiter byte or end of file is reached. I wonder if I can do something like this. Read until a tab. So if I read until this is the byte, so let's say a tab character, and then my buffer is a vec of u8, so I'm going to have to make you a new vector, my user input here, expected u8. I need a tab that's like what the u8 is. Is there something like tab? No. Okay, that would have been nice. I don't think that there's like a const or something or an enum of bytes that would be useful. If I do just that, and I turn that into a byte, it expected a single U8, but I found that I'm gonna essentially want just the first one. We can make this a little bit nicer, maybe a const or something. We have a result, so let's mark you. So if I have the user input now, that's a buffer. Just out of curiosity, if I attempt to immediately print this, I want to print user input. Oh, string from, really. Let's just unwrap you because this is a test. Okay, so I'm thinking this is going to read it until the tab character, but then not even end after that. So we get our shell. Okay, so we get our prompt. And then if I write, I was hoping that that tab character would cause it to immediately print out. Okay. It still waited until I got a return. Ooh, okay. I'm gonna have to do a little bit of research for this one. Not doing so bad. Well, that's good. We have 10 minutes on the scheduled stream for today. Then we'll have to delay it until tomorrow. Let's see. So I don't think user stream is right. Concepts. Let's see if they have any good concepts for us here. What is a shell prompt? That doesn't seem right. What are built-in commands? I don't think that's what I need here. We recommend using a library like readline for your implementation. Oh, this goes to GNU readline. Most modern shells and REPLs, like the Python REPL, use readline under the hood. While you may need to override some of its default behaviors, it's typically less work than starting from scratch. Okay, so readline. So it's a software library. Do I have access to readline? And this is fine. I wonder if we can. The following code is in C and must be linked against the readline library by passing. Okay, so it uses the readline library. Configure read. Okay, hold on. Okay, so they don't give us a dependency on this, but they're recommending we use something like readline, which means, do we have anything like readline here? Rusty line. Yeah, this has a few downloads, 24 million, and it's been updated recently too. Rusty line, a readline implementation based on Anti-Res's line noise. So Windows has some issues with it, but that's not the worst. So I get, okay, so we created default editor new with file history. So, oh, I can load a history. I mean, that might just make it free if I use the other, when we implement a history feature. Okay, so I readline, that's the prompt. And I can get if we're interrupted with a control C or a control D. And I probably can get different tab things. Okay. I'm going to, it's a bit overkill for what we need. It also has VI modes. Oh, that's nice. We can add this in. Cool. Okay. So we're going to pull in Rusty line. This is just called Rusty line, I think. So we can just do a cargo add for this. Now I wonder, let's see, I'm not seeing anything specific that we need out of here. In our get user input, I believe we want to now default editor. Okay, so we need to create a new default editor. So I guess this is, what are they calling it? They're calling it Rusty line. Default editor, new. Oh, that also apparently can, yeah. So we created the new Rusty line editor. I'm not going to do with history. So we're not going to do a load history. It wants to do a loop, and I could RL read line. I don't know if I want read line, like the full read line though. So they're thinking a loop, and I can do RL dot. It has an entire completion system in here, but that's not what I want. Unless the read line isn't actually okay. So that gives me the prompt. Oh, so the prompt would be something like $sign, like that. So that's a full string. So then I'm just curious what is in this. So if I print line, read line gives me, I never get out of this loop. So we'll just be stuck in an infinite loop forever, which is fine. No problems. What can possibly go wrong with this? I'm actually curious why. I thought I would be getting double $signs. I'm not, because I printing the $sign also. So if I do some like readline gives me echo. The problem, of course, this is like a new line. So I need to get not readline. I need something else. I don't think I want to set anything. I want to get stuff. Doubt I want to set any kind of like external printers or anything. I think I need to look more at the documentation for readline or for Rusty line to sort of see how this works, because this is not what I want. Okay, yeah. So they have this, which is very similar to what I want. Mm. Oh, the document. Oh, right, because it failed to build the documentation. Oh, let's go to the last working. Oh, but it's the exact same thing, which I don't know if I'm getting. Are these brand new docs? Because I don't want dependencies. Think about that. File name completion is like close. This isn't what I want. I feel like I've not used it right. I think I need to create a brand new program with this, maybe with something like this. Or if I just copy all of you, just sort of take a look at what it's trying to do, then maybe that would work. I think though we're going to leave this till tomorrow though, because it's after 12. I'm running out of snoozes, and if I sort of figure this all out and then come back tomorrow, I'll probably be very confused about it. So I'm going to leave this. I'm going to leave our code here with a sort of like need to figure out how to do uh, all of this, like how to do the proper um, read line here, which is I don't think what we're doing correctly. Now I am getting this read line gets me. I add in a bunch of those. Yeah. Uh, cargo run. Okay, so I'm in an infinite loop. Yeah, so there we go. There's our prompt that I was expecting. Well, I can't successfully do a tab anymore. And read line gives me echo. That's because it doesn't exit out of read line to get to print line until it's a new line, which means I need something that's not read line. I need something else. So that's what we're going to figure out next time. I'm just going to go ahead and quit out of this with all of the um, errors in there. That's fine. Git commit. This is a work in progress. Checking out Rusty line for our read line implementation. And I'll push this up, but of course it's going to error out because none of this is actually working. Yesterday, I was able to go through and, well, less that I was able to go through and more of I skipped gaming time and just couldn't stop myself from taking a look into what alternatives to Rusty Line we can use, because I really just didn't like how Rusty Line seemed to be doing everything for us. Uh, so with Rusty Lion sort of like not being something I wanted to do, I took a further look into what's needed and to read a character at a time from the TTY from the terminal without having to read it one line at a time. And I did find out how to do that, but sort of along with the notes here of yeah, we recommend using something like readline for this because it's a lot. It's it's not that it's a lot. I didn't fully understand the code, therefore I don't want to use it. I would rather use an abstraction to sort of like just show, hey, I don't really understand how exactly this is working behind the scenes. From what I could tell, it was setting raw mode, which I don't know how that really works with the terminal itself, and then able to open dev tty, and then I'm able to basically just get a buffer from that over and over again, and just sort of read from that, and then I can manually look for return. uh that obviously I don't want to use something and like hard code something that I really don't understand, so I'd rather use a library for that, and then we could come back to this later if we really want to. So I found console. Console is a terminal, and basically it's an abstraction to be able to get certain things, and one of those certain things is a character at a time, so we'll be implementing that. So I already went ahead and installed this before the stream, just in case it was going to take a lot of time or weird internet shenanigans would happen. And I ripped out the read Rusty line that we had set up. So the idea here, and let's see, do I want to create a new? I'm trying to decide if I want to create a new. I don't think I want to create a new sort of like playground for this. I think we can just build this into here. I do think, though, that I'm going to want to create my console terminal at this point and then pass it into the utilities when I I don't think I need to do it for printing the prompt, but for getting the command, definitely. I believe I definitely need to do that, which means we're going to do this here so that our term is going to be equal to console term. And then this was a little bit weird, but I have to create a standard out term. And now I can use this to basically read a single character at a time in a loop. Yeah, you weren't even here when we set that up, Asitsu. I think we were just getting to the point where we're starting to look into that. But I basically set it up, and then it was like, this is going to do everything. Like it wanted to do all the work for us, which is great if I'm doing this for real. But the challenge is that I want to do as much of this myself as possible. So really, I just wanted to abstract out getting a single character at a time from the terminal. And I feel that this is a lighter weight library that lets me do that a little bit easier. All right, so let's see if I can get users input. I want to put this. Okay, so I want the term, which I wonder if we can make this a mutable reference to term, so I don't have to give ownership to it. That's going to yell at us, so we're going to need a term here and pass that in, which means we need you to be mute there, and I pass in term here. Okay, so that makes it happy. We're not using it actively here, but we'll do that shortly. So my my user input, it's going to be a lot different now because we're going to be getting things one character at a time, which is kind of already what we're doing in git command, where we're see where is that happening? String read until byte 0. I don't think I'm even doing something like that. Oh, I was experimenting with this, just trying to standard lock this, and then read until that, but it still waits until it's done. So until like a new line happens. I don't need to worry about any of that stuff. I think we need to just restart from here. So what are we solving by this? We are solving getting one character at a time. So with the term, I can now create an infinite loop, which we'll have to break out of, but we'll deal with that. I can let a key equals term. I want to read key. I also have read character as an option, but I want to read key. This gives me a result, so we can context you. Reading key from, let's see, we're reading key from, I guess, reading key while getting user input. And now we can match on the key, and we have a whole bunch of keys that we can look at. In fact, if I just sort of auto-complete this, this is what we can now see. So for example, we can see our character. This would be a, like whatever the current input is. So input character, let's say in this loop, it would have to be outside of this. So maybe we'll do like a let mute current word. We'll make this a string new. So if it's just a character, I probably want to just append this to my current world. Why did I call it world? Current word. So I want to current word. We're going to push stir. We're going to push character, our input character. Okay, great. Everything else is a to-do. Yeah, clearly because this shell is my world now. Also correct, right? You're yelling at me because we have unreachable code, which is going to be fine. I suppose if we hit enter, this should break, right? If we hit enter, we should break. But then also here, I can see when we hit a tab key. So we'll be able to auto-complete whatever current word that we're in the middle of. Now, if I just do this, all I want to do is at the end of this loop, maybe print out what the character is to the console to sort of prove that we're getting one character at a time. Because I think that would help. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. So if I do, oh yeah, I actually have to do this because this captures input and nothing will display. So I definitely do need to print this out. And I can actually do this together here, where we're just gonna do a print of the input character. And then down here, outside of the loop, let's, we're gonna flush. So standard IO, standard out. Actually, I think I can flush with term too. So term flush. Because we know how to flush. We've done that a few times. So this just makes it a little bit easier. All right. User input. We're currently not using this, so I'm just going to go ahead and remove you. This item, so unknown escape sequence. I'm going to go ahead and ignore that. And then we have term flush. Okay, so this has a result. We can just question mark you. That'll be fine. We're not using buff read or standard in again anymore. Okay, so I think this will work as expected. Let's find out. So if I cargo run, and now I can start typing up. No, okay. So if I type, nothing happens right now. If I hit return, I do get that not yet implemented. So that part is working. Is enter also different than return? It might have been something else because I did get a not yet implemented. Oh no, this is probably the not yet implemented that I got. Term flush. I wonder if this isn't actually doing what I expected it to do. So then let's try standard IO, standard out, flush. Okay, try that. Okay, that works fine. So now I can type echo, space, type all the things that I want. I'm catching each character at one time, pushing it into that string, and then also printing it out one character at a time, which is great. So now to pass this challenge, well, I mean, we also need to fix all the other things too, because there's a lot of refactoring we're going to need to do here. We currently don't have, let's see, what are we trying to return from here? Oh, this is just all the user input, right? Which is a string. So if I hit tab, I need to auto-complete the command and add a space for it to just add whatever other arguments there are. And then I think the rest of my code will be just fine. But to do that, so I do have my current word that I'm working on. Also note, like we've been having this problem where like I can't really escape. I can't backspace. I think I can do that now. So let's handle that because I just want backspace. So to backspace, I'm just going to pop off something from the current word. So current word, let's pop off the last character. I don't really care what that is. I want to clear the line, and then I want to print what we have. So print the current word. So if I do that, I can type echo, and ooh, I can reverse. That got rid of my prompt, right? Because, oh, okay. So when I get rid of my prompt, I'm gonna have to add that back in. But backspace is working. I just need to, when I clear the line, isn't there a prompt? Yes, there's the print prompt, which also does the flush here. So I could just print the prompt first. So I clear the line, print prompt, then I print the current word. I probably don't really need to, let's see, get user input also has the prompt at the beginning of it, but I don't want to do that every time at the loop, only when it's empty. I think we're okay. I think it's doing a little bit extra, but okay. So if I type echo, I can now backspace. But I can't backspace past the prompt. It still always has that every single time. So perfect. Next up, I want to, when I hit tab, I want to autocomplete the word that I'm on if it's a command that I'm at least a built-in. I think they said we have to support echo and exit. It would be nice to sort of search everything and to find out whether or not anything sort of like matches. That would be actually really cool if I could do that. Sort of like a little bit advanced extra. In here in utilities, we do have find executable file, but this finds based upon the entire name. I bet I could sort of update this to be find like partial. And then I would want it to be find partial. Is that fuzzy find? I can't remember the exact definition for fuzzy, whether or not it's like just the beginning and like the spelling has to be correct, or fuzzy find means it can also be part of it too. So if I do pub function, let's say um, find all commands. So all commands containing. So we're gonna have the partial command, right? The partial command can be a stir. It depends on the algorithm, but in general, fuzzy just means same letters and generally same order. Like a search for foo bar might find hello foo bar. Okay, I'm not doing fuzzy in that definition. I'm just going to be doing it contains it all together. Okay, so find all commands containing partial. Let's return a vec of, I guess, strings, because that's all I really care about. Okay, so that's there's two areas to search here, right? We search the built-ins first, and then we search the paths to, do we have our paths? Where is our paths? I have to find where we store the path yet. Oh, we might be able to get that from our environment variable, which that makes sense. Do I have something to get paths here? I do have a get path. So that might be what I want. I want a get path. Find files. Yeah, but they're not going to be executable, so it's close. Okay. Find files is close. So I think this is kind of what we want to duplicate here, right? Ooh, you take in the paths. Oh, because we have get path. I suppose, what if we start without, instead of all commands, let's start with, we'll do two of them, right? So find all built-ins containing partial. If it doesn't contain, then we can potentially go off to look at the rest of the system, which would be a significantly sort of heavier load and take a little bit longer. So the first thing that we need is a list of all the built-ins. And we have built-in commands here. Let's see. I do need to get, except I don't want not found. I think I'll just impl toString on this myself. Impl to, can I do toStir? Oh, toString doesn't, okay, toStir doesn't exist. I vaguely remember we using that before, but I think that was a macro that we used to create that. So impl toString for built-in command. We have toString. We want to match on self. Okay, change directory. I don't really care about any of these items. If this is change directory, this is cd echo. Actually, you know what? I can, for the most part, play with autocomplete like that. Y, go to the end, change you to be that. Oh, shoot. Undo that. That's what I want. Okay. Oh, and then I can do that. Go back here, lowercase u. All right, change directory is not actually change directory, it's cd. Echo is correct, exit is correct, pwd is absolutely not correct. Type is correct, and not found, this doesn't exist. And so I want it to be nothing at all, really. So I still need that to be not found. I don't care about items. What should you be? I feel that you should be some kind of like no operation or something that can't be one of the symbols. Maybe doing options as the other ones would be a good idea. I could do that as an option and make this a none. Oh, it shouldn't really implement to string use display. Ooh, I could do that. I mean, it might be true stacking. That's the correct thing to do. However, the challenge did tell us that we had to implement that, and it's a built-in for us. So whether or not it's the right thing to do is maybe a completely different problem. So yeah, that's I actually haven't looked into that myself, so I can't speak very intelligently about it. So I will trust what you're saying. Okay, let's import display for built-in command. Oh, wrong display. Okay, so format, we get our formatter. I want to match self. Do I want to get, I want to do something like let like the word, let the command. Okay, let's do this again. So might as well not, we have to delete you. So change you to be that, put you in there, spell you. Okay, so let's update you. So your CD, your echo, exit, your PWD, your type, and then not found. Normally I would want this to be not found, but this is where I'm thinking I want this to be a none type thing. So should I do this as like a sum none, and then I can map it to turn it into a string? I can't remember with display that lets me actually convert that into a string right behind the scenes in order to compare against it. I could do, well, partial compare I don't think works because I don't want it to be equal. I would want it to be something else. Let's see. So I think these are, I don't know what I want to do for not found. I kind of want to just do command not found, but I think I need to use some special characters that you don't find in terminals, which is also not something I'm recognizing on my system because I think most characters can be used legally in terminals at different points. So I don't actually know what to do here for that. I mean, maybe not found like that, but I'm thinking that's why I'm thinking this would be a an option. But if I do that, I just need to write. We have our formatter, and then we have the command, and then we return that. For each of these, whoa, not that. I want to select items. Change that. Okay, but I don't like I don't like where this is going because not found needs to be an option with a none, which means I could do find. What if I don't import anything from this? There's no find uh, that I could derive, right? So if I just import built-in command, pub function, I guess, what if I call it like matches? Okay, so if it matches not a predicate, it matches a partial, matches a stir, we can return a vector of self. This might be better. We do the logic inside of here. So we do matches on, we create this matches, we get a partial in, so the partial might be CD or something like that. I have now what this looks like. So CD echo exit PWD type, and what? How do I do this? I almost need a vector of these. Oh, I could create a vector of them. Yeah, I could create a vector. So maybe into vector. I can't remember. Is it from or into? I always dyslexize that. I think I want to do from because that does both, right? So if I import from, yeah, one should always prefer implementing from over into because implementing from automatically provides one with an implementation of into. Okay, so impl from vec string for built-in command. Okay, I'm just sort of playing around until we figure out like what this looks like. If I get a vector of these, I could then search through them to find which one I want, and I kind of like that too. I could also create this once if I don't want to be constantly creating this vector over and over again with each command that I'm sort of bringing in, because the list of built-ins will never change. So this might work too. I can use display for this, which in this case, not found becomes, I mean, I could just do not found, and then we'll have to remove that here. You take in self though, which means you need to already exist. Oh, no, right, because it's the other way around. I keep on forgetting I'm implementing from here. So if I have a value of X string, I need to loop through each item, so I map it. So if I take our value into iterator, we map it, so we get a potential command, and I want to then return, I need to match this, don't I? So I need to match the command as a stir. We'd have, okay, so self change directory, I don't really care about that. So this would then be self, actually, no, wait, stir. I'm doing the other way around. So this would be cd, this would be self, change directory. You need to have a vec of a string. This would be just an empty vector, because we don't actually care what's coming in here. Like, because I don't really care what's going in there, because these are arguments, right? Yeah, these are the arguments. This is kind of now making me want to refactor this entire built-in command to not take in the arguments. We can grab those. Yeah, that's a lot of work. I may not want to do that right now, and sort of refactor that to later. So echo is next. Self echo. We have an empty vector. We have exit self exit pwd self pwd. We have type self type with the vector, and then literally everything else becomes self not found with an empty string and an empty vector. More arguments for this not taking in arguments or the command or storing that inside of the enum. So I have a map. Actually, this might just work, right? What are you? Oh, becomes a self. Seems like a good place to use strum. I'm seeing how much I can do without other libraries. Like console is a library because I can't really do the getting character at a time. Strum, I can still do this myself though. Instead of using something like strum, we've used that before, right? That sounds familiar. This converts it. So this would basically be, oh, well, see, this isn't right either. Because like from vector into one thing, I can't really do that as one thing. I really just want, what is the, okay, so I don't think I can do I don't think I can do anything like a built-in like this. I don't think the display is really helping me. I'm not using it at all. So I don't think I need this. I think all I really need is the equivalent of something like cd, echo, exit, pwd, and type. This is all I need. I'm going to put it here while I'm trying to figure out where, like how to generate that properly. Maybe I'll just create a function to just say like possible arms or something like that. I guess possible matches, because that's pretty simple. I suppose a macro could do this pretty easily too. So if I have my possible matches and I want to return a vec of one of these, so it's not even that I'm returning a vec of self, it's I'm returning a vec of a string. I could even return a vec of a static string, and that might be fine. Okay, so I have my possible, I want to just do a find on these, which, oh no, I just want to do a filter on these. So just do a possible matches like an iter, we filter. Our predicate is going to be a command, and then I want to check to see if the command contains the partial. If that does, it returns true, which then keeps it. And then I want to collect this and return it. A vec of stir cannot be built over an iterator over elements of type stir. Oh, yeah, because we're getting these funny things. So I guess what I could do is I can make this, I can make the strings of what it found. I have to map these into toString, and then I can collect that. Yeah. Okay. So now I can check to see if any of these matches. So in utilities here, find all built-ins containing a partial. We can say built-ins matching built-ins. We have built-in command matches our partial. That gives us a vector. And I can just return that. I guess this is where I potentially go back to doing the other one, right? Because I really only want this if it's 1. So find all built-ins containing. I want to find matching command. What if I make this an option and it has a string inside of it? And so if matching built-ins dot length is exactly equal to 1. So if it's equal to 0, that means I need to then search the rest of the system for commands. If it's exactly equal to 1, we found a single matching. If it's equal to more than 1, we can actually quit out early, right? So what? Okay, we could do if matching built-ins dot length is greater than 1, we return none. There's no matching commands yet. Else if we have exactly 1 matching command, we want to return. I can actually just return the first one. So matching built-ins first. That gives me an option anyways, so I don't have to grab it out. And this is, I don't need to return because the if is automatically returning this from there. Use option clone to clone the value. Okay, fine. Cloned you. And then I think I need an else, pass in a none. Are echo and exit both built-ins? Yes, they are. So if I do E, it'll get 2 of them. If I do EC, it'll get 1. If I do EX, it'll get 1. Okay, so what does the test expect if you do an E? Nothing. If I press tab, nothing happens. We're not, so in normal bash, I'm actually curious. In normal bash, I think it displays down below all of the possible things. You can tab through them. That's the same in a lot of different shells. Our shell is only going to autocomplete if it's a potential complete. Does sh work that way? I don't remember. Okay, tab. So if we press the tab, I want to get, so that I wonder, we should probably do an if let sum, because we're not going to do anything at all if it doesn't exist. So if let sum, this is the command that we want. That's not that. Find matching command. Our partial is the current word. Okay, so we now have our command. So if we've matched it, we have a single one. I want to now set our current word equals the command. We want to clear the entire, so term, clear the line. I want to print the prompt again. I want to print the current word with a space. I think that's it. We're currently losing all the other inputs because as soon as I hit space, I probably, yeah, okay. So this is a little bit naive. I think it's going to not work. I think we're going to get weird stuff happening, but let's try this again. So if I type E tab, nothing happens. E X exit happens. I can escape out and I can auto complete echo. I can auto complete CD, type, PWD. Okay, I think that's good, but the problem here, I have my current word. I need to return a result string at the end. I've got a to do, so when I hit return, like it really messes things up. I think I get this to do if I hit return. Yeah, because I break out of the loop. What is it that I want to do? I want, because next things that are happening are adding in arguments. I guess I need to know what state we're in for this. Like if we have arguments or something else. And if we do have arguments, I'm no longer auto completing the tab. So I might want to have some kind of, what is it called? Enum for the state. Although maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe it will just work. Current word is probably not correct though, because it's more than one word that we're putting in. This is really probably current input. So current input. And then I want to return an OK current input at the bottom here, like that. We don't have any errors. And so now if I do exit, yeah, okay. That was line 63, perfect. So if I do echo hello world, okay, so I did echo hello world, echo hello, command not found, because there's no space in there. Oh, I'm missing the space. Current input equals the command, and I need to push a space in too. So current input, push, space. It's a little bit janky, but I think that'll work. Exit, however, works just fine. So that's great. Okay, so if I do echo hello world, that did work. I did get echo hello world. What is not happening correctly? Oh, and the ad break is going to be starting any second now. So as soon as that starts, we'll take our break. What I'm doing in the meantime is I'm going to try to, let's see, we flush at the end of every loop. I need a new line right here. So we can just do a print line. And I think that would work. So we do echo hello world. We get our hello world like that. I can exit. We can echo. Ooh, that gives me 2 spaces. Oh, right. If it gives me 2 spaces, that's because I don't need to add another space in here because we have our input like that. Nope, didn't need to do that. All right, ad break started. We will be back in 3 minutes or so. And I am going to go open some windows since it's starting to get warm outside, including this one. All right, still got a minute left on ads. I think things are working the way we expect them to now. Now obviously we get all those to do, so we can crash pretty easily if we run the wrong commands. Like I think if I push escape in there, it'll crash. If I push enter, we're fine. Control C might crash too. I think that's trying to pick that up, but I'm not actually sure that's working. But anyways, that I think we're in a lot better state than we were at the end of yesterday. We'll go ahead and wait until the ads are done in around 30 seconds. Okay, and we are back. Okay, so let's try this again. So if I cargo run, if I echo the world, that works as expected. If I echo, well, so it can't find CD, so that's actually fine. So I think that's okay. If I try, let's see, not CD, oh, LS. If we try LS source, that still works as expected. So that's good. There are some of these commands which, if we run them, are going to crash us. So if I do an unknown key, which I don't know what that is, an arrow left, so any of the arrow keys will crash the terminal. But I think when we get to history and I type the arrow keys, we can actually make that work if I at least keep a list of all the commands that we've done. Enter is just breaking. Escape causes a crash. The home and end keys cause a crash. Back tab. Oh, so if I shift tab, that causes a crash. I mean, right now that's probably okay. Delete. We don't track anything. I don't track anything. And also shift. Sorry, that was escape. Shift is not really doing anything with, because that would have caused a crash otherwise too. And then Control C, that does exit, which means that that's not being properly caught either. So I think we're good. If Control C isn't working, I can just ignore you. Shift, I can't really capture. The rest of these I can, and therefore I want to keep the to-dos in there so it will crash and let me know with a message like, here, in this line on this file is what's causing it. And we can play around with that later. In the meantime, I kind of want to just see if this works. Now, do I want to also implement and try this with the rest of the commands? Because that would be fun. We have find executable file. Okay, so if I take you, this finds all files with the name and the path. So I have to get the paths. The only difference is I want to check to see if it's partial. So I just need this to be partial. I wonder if it would make sense to put a flag in here. And if it's partial, I return that. Otherwise, it must be equal, because it's a ver of that. It's a vec of them already. So if I partial match boolean, so if partial match, then I can say if name contains file name, turn some dir entry. Otherwise, else continue. Ooh, I wonder if I can do this together like an okay. What if I do if partial match and name contains file name? I want to return some dir entry. We can do an else if just the name contains that. So if it's not partial match, then check to see if just the name equals it. Otherwise, equal that. File name. Oh, does this need to be a reference? It does not. What do you need? You're a pattern. You're an OS string. An OS strings doesn't allow me to do something. I can do. Isn't there like a to-stir? There is a to-stir, which is an option. So unwrap or default, I think would work there. So it would basically just not find it if there's no stir available with it. Okay, so find files like that. Find executable files. Now we can add a partial match in here as a boolean and partial match you. You're happy. Okay, so partial match is false. We don't want that to be a partial match. We don't want you to be a partial match. But for matching command, we do want you to be a partial match. So, okay, if the length is greater than 1, we return nothing because there's multiple built-in commands. If the matching built-ins is exactly 1, we do that. And then else we get our list of potential commands. So potential external commands, find executable file. Our name is the partial. Isn't there like a get path? Paths are path buffer. Let's load our path in here. Get path is our path. And partial match is true. That gives us an option dir entry because it's only one of them. If let sum equals that, I guess I just want to return this, don't I? Hold on. I return I just return this because it's either some or none. So I don't know what I'm doing here. I think I can just return you. Oh, what's my problem? Mismatch types. Oh, because it's a string and not a dir entry. So I need to map you. We have our dir entry, and I need to turn this into a string. Which our dir entry. Can I get the name? File name. File name. Can I do a string? Into string. I guess okay, which I think this turns it into an option. Oh, an option. That's not what I want. That gives me an option result, and if I do okay, that gives me an option, I think. Yeah, that gives me an option. So I need to if let, and then I return that. Otherwise, I return none. So do let, I might just do let some command equals that. Otherwise, I don't think I care about the second option at all. Is there a way to like easily remove the second option or collapse them together? Like, can I flat map it? I didn't even check. Hold on. Is that an option? Oh, there is a flat map. Okay. So flatten. Oh yeah, that's what I want. And then I return. I don't need this to be a let command anymore. You're upset. Expected reference. Path buffer found. Result. Okay, fine. So if you're a result, because getting a path can error, if I result like that, that allows me to question mark the path, but now everything here needs to be an okay around it. I don't know if this is a good idea to wrap the okay with the if like that. I mean, it works. It looks horrible. That absolutely looks devastatingly bad, and I hate it. But for testing if it works, I think it'll do the thing. All right. Do we return? We do return a result out of here, so I can question mark you. There's no errors anymore, which makes me wonder if this just works. So cargo run. What's okay? So if I, okay, so echo still tabs. If I cat, what are commands that I could run that I have on my system? That like turns into W. It's acting weird. I don't think it's working the way I want it to work. I think that the find command isn't is finding the first possible thing that it could be and then reporting that as found when it's not probably correct. Because contains for something is like yeah, like as yeah, that should probably find one thing. That's not working too hot. I wonder what the problem is. I kind of want to see what the found command is. So if you found a command, let's just print line, because what's the problem with that? Found command. Let's put in double quotes around it just to make it really easy to see. Okay, so if I do found command as, I typed in BAS and it found a command as. Okay. Print line matching partial. I want to make sure that this is working the way we expect it to. So if I, yeah, okay. So it is attempting to match the partial BAS. So I attempt to match this. It should get none there because as is also a that's just a command on that's an external command. So okay, I get that. We find the path, we find executable file. Let's try this. Print line. Okay, so we're still good there. So I haven't done anything. I mean, I'm pretty confident we haven't done anything weird by this point. Find files. Now, this one I'm interested in. What did we find here? So let's found possible files, our dir entries. Let's see. Let's see what this thinks that it found. Only one thing. Dir entry user bin as. Oh, that's weird. I don't like that. It only found one thing. It did not find bash. It found as. It found the first one. It found the first one. It should be returning this here. So if a partial match, and this is a filter map, so we're turning some with a dir entry because it found it out of here, which means it continues on. Oh, but again, oh man, I'm in a for loop in a filter map. I should not be returning the first thing it found, because what if it's a partial match, I don't want to stop going through the for loop. Oh, I forgot about this. So this actually changes this for loop to be two different things. Either one, we're continuing. How do I deal with that? And this makes me wonder if I should just sort of pull all this out and not do it anymore, because it might take too long. Let's see if I can figure it out quickly. So I'm filter math through a path. I feel like this entire logic is not correct for find files, because I'm iterating through and I'm filter mathing, but path is a directory. If I'm trying to find all the things inside of here, there could be like 20 different things inside of one of the paths, which is fine. I mean, that should be okay, right? But this is going to exit out on the first thing it found in each directory, which is not okay based upon something that returns a vector of dir entries. I feel like I want to redo this logic regardless, because I think that there's some potential bugs in here. I feel like I want to do a manual reduce, as opposed to, I mean, I guess I could do an actual reduce, but it might make more sense to like found entries, make this be a vector, and then this is what I return at the end, is the found entries. I then want to loop through, so I do want to loop through the paths, but I probably don't want to do a filter map or anything like that. Let's do something nice and simple. Let's just do a for in loop. So for path in paths, that gives me my path. I then want to read the directory. So doing the let binding is okay. So I have a dir. Let's just do a directory. I have a directory. Stop it. Well, standard s our read dir. We have our path. Otherwise, we continue, because we can't read the directory in a path. So we're fine. So now that we have a directory, so that's this, we want to then, inside of the loop through the path, loop through each item in the directory. So for your entry in directory. So, I mean, this is like, it's really just like entry in directory. Okay, so let okay equals, so dir entry, oh, right, because we get a result here. I can't remember if I can like extract this out here, because I think this is not going to handle, this is not going to handle what I want. So let's go ahead and then extract you out. So let okay entry, stop it. And we can shadow this at this point. It's entry otherwise. So if you can't read this, that's okay. We continue, because that doesn't mean all the things in this directory are bad. It just means that that one is not great. Then we need to get the file name. Then we need to see if if we're partial matching, then we do one thing. Otherwise, we do the other thing. Okay, so if we're doing a partial match, then I'd care if file name, you don't contains. So I need to take the string out, which means I need the actual, like the real name, right? So we actually have this as a name that we're looking for. Okay, so name, this is here an option. Okay, so partial match, if let sum, this is the file name equals file name dot, I can get a stir. If it's an otherwise, we're just going to continue. We're done here. Because I can't actually check it if I can't see that. And I did this wrong. Let's just do let some. So now I have the file name and we're in a partial match. And so then I can say if file name, actually, wait a second. Can I, if file name, because like, isn't there the is some as? Oh, to stir is some and, do I have the actual access to the value at this? Oh, I do. Oh, okay. I don't think I've had a chance to really use this before. But now we can. I forgot that this is a thing. It got added after we initially learned Rust. So we have a closure here that can return a Boolean. So if some and, this is the actual sort of like file name. I don't need to do that. Stop it. Okay, so if the file name, so I just need to say file name contains name. So if the string is some and the file name contains that, then found entries push file name. And I want to do that to be dir entry. And then I'm kind of done here, right? In this loop, you want to do this, you want to do that. If we're not doing a partial match, I need to test to see if it's equal to the name. So if file name is equal to name, if it's equal to the name, then found entries push. Actually, these are entries, right? So I want to push the entry in. That should be good. So this should now handle if it's a partial match. We push that in. We go through all the different entries. And then I think that's it. So at the very bottom, then we finish the loop, finish the loop for each directory. We finish the loop for each item. We have no errors, no warnings, and returning that. Okay, so find files returns a vector of dir entries. Find executable file then looks through these, and we also have a partial, right? Oh, but now that we know what it is, right? So this is going to be interesting. Find executable file. I wonder if I should return a vector of them. It's an option. So I could just get the first one, but that doesn't let me know if there was multiple of them. So it kind of makes me think I should change this to be a vector and then make the other things sort of check to see if there's multiple. Otherwise, yeah, let's do this because I might have multiple executables in the path, and I can update you to be find executable files to make that make a little bit more sense. Okay, so we find the files, so dir entries. I'm gonna guess I'll leave that debug print in there. Okay, so for dir entry and dir entries, in this case, I now can do a filter for this. So we can do dir entries. I don't need to iter mute. Into iter, we filter. This is a dir entry. For each of these, I'm going to get the metadata. Oh, wait. Can I do a try filter? Oh, is there no try filter? There's a try for each, but not a try filter? Oh, okay, fine. I think I do need to do it sort of manual like this. Okay, so I have for dir entry and dir entries. We get the metadata for each one, which means I need let sort of executable files, an empty vector, and we're going to push them in. So mode that, do all these things. If it's executable in any way, we just executable files push the dir entry. At the very end here, instead of returning an option, we're returning a vector already, we return the executable files. And then we have a question mark, so your return type and a result, except not that result, Why aren't you upset? I return okay. I return a result here like that. Oh, this returns are, oh, yeah, that's why. Okay, got it. So now we have some errors because you all are assuming that you're getting one thing back, but you're not. You're getting multiple things back. So find executable files gives us potentially a bunch of files, and I'm mapping through them. Okay, so this is find matching command. So let's, don't think I need to do like any kind of map or anything like that. Let's restart this. I have a path. I need to let, so possible external commands equals find executable files. We have the partial, the path, and then true for partial match. Stop it. That's the one thing I dislike is I have to press Control C multiple times in Helix to get all the windows to go away, and I don't really like notice the other window on top. And so I do Control C once, and I really want to do it twice. Okay, so that gives me the possible external commands. I then want to check to see if there's one. So if possible external commands dot length is equal to 1, then I can get the first one. Otherwise, I just want to return a none. And first I need to map you and extract out, okay, so that you're going to be a dir entry. We don't take our dir entry, and we want to get the file name. And then I want to make a string, question mark that, and I think that's okay. Oh, but I'm inside of a map, so I can't, and we already checked, right? There's no try map. Why do you make this so much harder? I guess if I just extract the first one, I don't have an option, and so it'll make it easier on me. So we know that it's there. So I just get the first one, then I get the file name into a string, question mark that. Then convert you into an option. That might have been okay if I did it the other way around too. But I think this is fine. I would have had to flatten the other way. This way I just go straight towards it. Okay, we have these other errors. I can write all of you. Let's see. Okay, so some dir entry equals executable files, because we're no longer getting an option, we're now getting a vector. So let's try, so dir entries. Okay, so we get a result here. Okay, so we get our vector of dir entries here. This is for built-in type. So if this match is not found, we get all of the possible dir entries. I really want there to be one, right? Maybe the first one is the one we get. And I could do this as dir entries.first here, which then becomes exactly the same. And this is not command not found. I could just do first here as well, and I think that becomes exactly the same. Except I do need to question mark you. Run external executable. Oh, it expected a dir entry. Do you really need to be anything other than that? I think you're fine. Cool. I think everything is working now. But this was all to test whether or not I could do BAS and find bash. Okay, so okay, base name, bash bug, base 64, bash, update mime database, bash language server. I wonder if we should, instead of doing contains, we should do starts with. Well, because even so, base 64 will have the same problem. What's another command that I can try? Cat? Oh, I need to. Oh, there's so many that contains CA, and so many that starts with CA. Okay, so I mean, technically it's working. it just is a lot harder to do because I don't have that many things that start with, I don't actually know the commands that start with it. Time? There's still a bunch of ones that, up time. Okay, there's one that's exactly time. But there's timer, okay. How about uptime? Yeah, okay, so that technically works. It's not a great system, but it technically works. So if I do uptime, it tells me the uptime. If I do type, we still get everything else is working. Which means I need to find that print line. Where was that? That was in utilities. That was you. I don't think I needed. Oh, we can get rid of all of you because you're working now. You're working much better than before. I did not have a print line there. Okay, so I think we're good. I did not need to exit out completely. I guess I can cargo run here now. So I can echo like that. I can bash, but I can go into bash. Running bash is probably not a great idea from within the system. But okay. And also I think everything should work now. Let's just go ahead and send it, see how it does. All right, so we're handling autocomplete for not just built-ins, but also external commands, but it kind of sucks. All right, let's see if this passes the test. Oh, it does indeed. Okay, let's see what they did here, because I am curious. All right, auto completion, built-in completion. So it received a prompt, it typed ECH, it pressed tab, which auto completed to echo. It also did it with exit. Yeah, and then it ran all the other tests. So that is great. Okay, next up, completion with arguments, which apparently just auto passes for us. I guess they were expecting us to break arguments completely and have it not work anymore, and then we needed to refactor that. But okay, I'll take it.